Rapid Ascent's an immersive training program for those of you looking to get into cybersecurity, IT, anything like that. Kim knows about 150 times what I would ever know about cyber and IT. So I'm going to pass it off to her. Thank you, Kim, so much for being here. I'll pass it over to you.
Hi there. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. I'm just getting my slideshow up for everybody. All right. So again, thanks for having me. I am Kim with Rapid Ascent. I'm a veteran and a military spouse. My spouse retired from the military. I was in the Army National Guard for 7 years. I actually joined the military to pay for college, to be quite honest, and got out of AIT on December 17th of '03, and I got my deployment papers to Iraq on the 18th. So basically, the government was like, "Welcome to the National Guard. You are deploying to Iraq for a year." So um, I spent time over there as a heavy equipment operator and petroleum supply specialist. And so OIF2 was a really great learning experience for me. And it actually helped me develop, a passion for helping military. My grandfather was a Vietnam veteran. And it's really a passion to me to make sure that as you transition out of the military, you're taken care of. I'm the ambassador for Mount Carmel Veterans Service Center here in Colorado Springs, as well as I actually at the new year, I'm taking over as the president for Veterans Beer Club here in Colorado Springs as well. So, and it's all of you should look into it if there's one in your local area. It's not about just getting drunk with a bunch of veterans. It is actually about helping transitioning military and their families get jobs. And so it's about camaraderie, and connecting with hiring managers, recruiters, and such. And it's all about helping. And so that's something that I'm very passionate about. And with that being said, something I'm also passionate about is cybersecurity. Now, I don't do cyber myself. Cyber is not for everybody, but I am more of a people person. And so I can talk around cyber all day long. And so I want to kind of share a little bit about that with you. So, just a show of hands, how many of you are potentially interested in cyber? You're not really sure if it's right for you, but it's something you've kind of heard people talking about. So, several of you. The very last thing I want is for somebody to get into an industry and it not be right for them. Waste your time, your money, your energy, your effort, and then it not be right. I did that for my master's degree. I got into public administration. I've never used it once. And so for me personally, it was kind of a waste. And so we built our program in collaboration with Boeing. The purpose is to help individuals um, understand how to do the job, not just pass a bunch of certifications or, you know, not just learn how to pass a bunch of tests and get a list of certs, because that doesn't really ultimately help you. You need to understand how to do the job. That's the important part. And so, so we built this program. It's all hands-on, and the nice part is it is a virtual program. So cybersecurity is virtual, so you can learn virtually, but also hands-on. Your job shadowing your instructors. Our instructors are actually practitioners in the field. One of our part-time evening instructors, he was the lead threat hunter for the Army for several years. And then one of our full-time day instructors, he was the master trainer for CompTIA for over a decade. And so it's really nice because he kind of helped with the CompTIA certifications. And so we typically don't have any issues with our students passing those certifications, which is kind of nice. So we got the inside intel on that. Um, as I said, it's all immersive. We developed it with Fortune 1000 companies, and just going to move into this a little bit so you can read that on your own. Um, So there's a couple different sections. I'll talk a little bit more about this later, but it's kind of a crawl, walk, run method. Now, the program works for anybody, no matter what level you're at, and I'm going to explain that. So, crawl method, you're working with instructor, you're job shadowing your instructor. Because they're practitioners, they do and you learn that way. Then the walk system is where you are working with coaches. Typically, most of our coaches have already done our program. And so you are doing job simulations with the coaches. And then the run portion is where you're doing your labs. And so you do these all simultaneously. The labs are nice because you get to touch on all different areas of cyber. So perhaps you think you're interested in threat hunting and you do a job simulation and you're like, this is not what I want to do. So the next time maybe you do risk assessment or network security or incident response or SOC engineering, but you build your own path to the end goal, right? And you learn which area within IT or cybersecurity you're most interested in. And then you do a capstone in that specific area. So I already talked about this a little bit. Let's go down here. Um, so you're going to do that capstone and you're really going to do a deep dive into that specific area of interest. And then that's where Sunny's going to step in and help you with employment. And so all of the labs that you do, they're interactive, they're job simulations, and the best part is you could put it on your resume as experience. And so that helps with that experience level. Now, because most of you are military, you're not really a true entry level cybersecurity anything. Because, believe it or not, no matter what industry you're in within the military, all of you do risk assessment, right? You guys have taken a little bit of cyber classes here and there, provided you actually studied it and your friend didn't give you the answers. But so all of you have a little bit of experience and you have a whole lot of soft skills that are important for the cybersecurity industry. Okay. And so we're going to help you learn how to translate those into your resume to help you be more marketable. So, now, for those of you who raised your hand and said, I'm interested in it, I don't really know if it's right for me, we created this Jumpstart Cybersecurity pre-training. All of you can do this. I recommend it if it's something that you're looking into. Um, this is 6 to 8 hours of pre-training to help you understand if IT or cybersecurity is right for you. This is 100% free. Okay, all you have to do is click on that QR code and create an account. Once you create an account, you're going to log in to rapidascent.com, and then at the top of the page, you're going to see a My Training tab. That's where you'll be able to access Jumpstart. Now, you can see down here at the bottom, there's different quests. So, as I said, it's 6 to 8 hours, but you can break it up into different quests. So, one of them is a basic orientation, and then you're going to do one that is IT and cybersecurity terminology. One about how critical language and math apply to cyber. There's a computer systems and a computer networking section. There's also an interview prep section. So we are highly, highly focused on your career as you transition into a different industry or further into the IT and cybersecurity industry. So everything we do revolves around your career and helping you get into that career. Okay. All the steps you need that perhaps you didn't learn in the military, like interviewing, mock interviews and such, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but how to get into that and really dive in deep into who you are, how to translate what you already have, how to network, all of that stuff is part of the program and you do get graded on it. So I'm just going to stop real quick. Does anybody have questions about Jumpstart? And I'm not looking at the chat at the moment since I have a couple other things going on. So if you do have a question, please feel free to raise your hand and I'd be happy to answer it.
Hey, Kim, I don't know if you can see mine, but Yao mentioned in the chat that he finished Jumpstart, but no one has reached out to him yet.
Okay, so um okay. If you create an account, you will get an automatic email that says meet with Kim. Did you receive that?
Yeah, I think so. I think I received it.
Okay, so if you receive that, then you'll have a link to set up an appointment with me. So go
Okay,
ahead and do that, and I'm happy to talk to you about what your goals are.
okay, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, so what's important? Money typically, right? So let's talk about that first. What does it look like pay-wise? Now, this scale is specifically based off of our results for students that have gone through our program. Okay, so right here around the 50,000 range, these are our students. So our program's open for everybody, not just military. Okay, so these are typically people that do not have a military background, do not have any IT or cybersecurity background, and perhaps they're getting into a help desk position on the private sector. Okay, you're looking around 50 to 60 range. Okay. This top range here, this is really nice because these are people who have prior military experience. Typically, they have a secret security clearance, and then they're brand new into IT or cybersecurity. You're looking around the 80 range. Okay. Our average, and let me go to the end real quick. I'll talk about that, and then I'll talk about what our average is. Um, so 130 range, okay? Typically maybe you were Intel analyst or SATCOM or did some kind of IT and cybersecurity within the military. You have a TSSCI clearance. You're ready to get going. A lot of DoD organizations will hire somebody with less experience and a higher clearance level because it's cheaper, right? It's easier for them to train you. So we're looking at maybe that 130 range. Now, on average, the students who come through our training who are military typically start off at about 92,000. Okay. And that's all inclusive everybody, no matter what skill or security clearance you are. So that's kind of what we're looking at on the scale. All right. What are some prerequisites for doing the training if it's something that you're interested in? I like to see people do Jumpstart first just to make sure it's the right track for you. You don't have to do Jumpstart before you register, but we do require everybody to do our Jumpstart before the start of class. Okay, because it really helps prep you for class and make sure that you're ready to go. Um, and Jumpstart kind of gives us an idea of where you are. You know, if you're scoring, because it does score you in different areas, so don't get scared by that. If you're scoring like in the 70s in each module or a little bit lower than that, then we want to have a talk with you because we want you to pass, right? We want you to be successful. And typically we've seen people that are, 70 or below struggle. And then, we either have to push them out to a later cohort or sometimes they drop, and we don't want that. We want you to be successful. So, um, we also want to make sure cyber's right for you. And so, we have a conversation about that. If you're scoring much higher, that's fantastic. You're prepared. But again, this is entry level to intermediate level. So all of these concepts should be relatively easy for most of you. Okay. Um, what kind of certifications do you get? So again, we're not teaching you to pass a bunch of exams and get a bunch of certs. We want you to learn how to do the job. So we are going to issue you one certification on top of all the hands-on training. The baseline cert is your CompTIA Security Plus. That is the baseline cert to make you marketable in IT or cybersecurity. It's a DoD requirement, baseline requirement, okay? If you already have that, then you're CYSA Plus. If you already have that, our goal is to get you one additional certification than what you already have so that you're a bit more marketable. Okay. Um, and it's not on this one for some reason, but we've partnered with City University of Seattle and we're looking at partnering with some other colleges. So not only do you get the training and the certifications, you get the college credit too. Our training counts as 30 college credits toward a cybersecurity degree. Okay, those are transferable credits, and so they're lower level undergraduate credits in cybersecurity. Okay, so you will graduate with an undergraduate certificate in cybersecurity. All of that can go on your resume. It helps you be a little bit more marketable. Now, we have two options. if you can do the 17-week full-time day option if you're looking for a skill bridge, or you're already in skill bridge with Seven Eagle Group and you want to do this on top of it, that's perfectly fine. That's a full-time day program. I'll show you what that looks like here a little bit later on. Or you can do the 23-week part-time evening program. It's a little bit later in the evening. If you're on the East Coast, the live instruction portion is like 8 to 11. So it's a little bit late on the East Coast, a little bit earlier, Pacific. And I'll show you that here a little bit later on. But both of these are they're considered full-time by the VA. So what that means is you are utilizing a funding source, which would be your post 9/11 GI Bill. It's only 4.5 months. Or if you choose to do it after you get out of the military, you can utilize VR&E. We also have scholarship options, and we have scholarship options. We have student loan options. So we want to make sure that you guys are taken care of the best that we can. If you don't have a funding source and you're interested in the scholarship option, we typically do a really good job with scholarships. We probably give away about 10% scholarships each cohort. So that's every 3 months. 10% of the class we try to give scholarships to. Okay, so that's really important to us, because if you have the aptitude for cyber, we want to try to help you as best that we can. Any questions on this information? Okay. So as I mentioned, oh, sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Hey Kim, how's it going? Chris here. Sorry for driving. I just had been in VA exams all morning, so I just left. But my question is, so like I have a bachelor's of science in IT and I have a master's of health administration. So with those 30 undergraduate credits, do they also am I able to combine that with some of my other college experience to potentially get a cybersecurity degree and maybe not have to do like a full undergraduate program again?
So Craig, you're on here with me. Perhaps you can help a little bit with this. So if you already have your baseline classes, I would imagine that you can utilize those 30 college credits for a second bachelor's degree. Does that sound right, Craig? Well, I thought he was on with me.
He was a split second
I'm
ago,
on
but
mute.
then I think he had
Yeah, I'm on. Sorry about
Oh,
this. I'm
oh.
on mute.
Oh,
Yeah, so
thanks.
let me make sure I understand the question. So the question is, you have already quite a few credits, is that right, towards a degree program?
So I actually already have a bachelor's degree
Yeah.
and a master's degree.
Got
But
it.
my bachelor of science is in IT. My master's
Okay.
is in health administration. And so I'm curious on,
Perfect.
with these programs, how does it am I able to double dip some of my pre-existing education on top of these 30 and get like a shortened kind of fast track cybersecurity bachelor's out of this?
Got it. Yeah. So that's a good question. And some of that you need to discuss with City U to see how it all matches up. But typically we have quite a few folks who have a bachelor's in cybersecurity coming through the program here. I believe that the credits, at the university level that you get from this are undergraduate credits. So I don't know that they can go towards, a higher degree in terms of transferring. But this program is set up to build on top of the degree program. So, it's really oriented, and I'll talk about a little bit more, but kind of operational on-the-job tasks. And so it can really complement what you've done already. But in terms of, if you're asking whether the credits here can go towards kind of shortening, the masters, I think they are undergraduate credits.
I was
And
going to
we
say,
can verify that for you.
Oh
perhaps
no,
getting a
sir.
second bachelor's.
Correct.
Second
Getting
bachelor's.
getting a second bachelor's, correct.
And your bachelor's right now, it sounded like was in cyber, or could
It's
just
an IT.
It's in IT, yes,
so
sir.
you want to get a cyber bachelor's degree, is that right?
I mean, I'm just, seeing what the options are to see if it makes sense
Yeah,
for me.
so that could work. We'd have to, just verify with City U, but that could potentially work if your prior degree wasn't in cybersecurity. So Kim can check
Perfect.
into
Thank you.
it. Yep,
Yeah.
I've got it now.
Yeah, and Chris, if you reach out to me via email, I'll send the director over at City U some information. It's just send me your college, your current college that you go to, and your degrees, what you have, and we can check with her and see if that makes sense for you.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. I definitely will.
absolutely. DeAndre?
I had just one quick question. Did you say it's the class is 5 months? It's 4.5 months, or that's how much the course is? And
So
you're gonna use like 4 months of GI Bill.
Right. So 4.5 months of GI Bill. If you do the full-time day class, it's 17 weeks. The part-time evening class is 23 weeks. So they're the exact same class, just the evening class is less throughout the day and stretched out a bit longer. And what I'll do is I'll send Tyler some more information in the slideshow and perhaps he can send it out. Yeah. Okay. John?
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for coming on with us today. Just a quick question for you, ma'am. If we have about 2 months or less in SkillBridge, can we still apply for this program?
Yes. So basically what I try to do is no matter, so are you Army?
No, ma'am. I'm Navy.
Navy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Army is my biggest trouble, but I can work with anybody. Typically because what I do is I will try to back your skill bridge up to however many you have available, however many months you have available. Sometimes the Army, it's only 60 days to 90 days to 120 days, and some of you guys get the full 180. And so what I try to do is I will try to back your skill bridge up to your terminal leave, to your retirement or separation date. That way your skill bridge will end on the date that it has to. You can still continue our program after that, because you're utilizing your GI Bill. So that allows you to continue the program after you get out of the military.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? Okay. So our next cohort actually starts, well, we're a little bit behind on this, January 5th. So it's coming up. Now, if you are considering using VR&E, okay, it used to be called Voc Rehab. Now it's Veterans Readiness and Employment. Before the furlough, they were about 120 days behind. I'm going to guess that they're about 6 months behind now. So if you already have your DD-214 and you want to apply for VR&E benefits, whether it's with us or whether it's with somebody else, do it ASAP, because it's going to be some time before they reach out to you. And right now they're all on furlough. So they're not working. Okay. So, whether you want to apply for GI Bill benefits or VR&E benefits, you go to va.gov, log in, click on the education section and apply. Also, I want to throw out there the Rudisill decision, right? If you previously had Montgomery, switched over to GI Bill, you could apply for that where you get an additional 10 months. Okay, so that should be on the va.gov website as well. So that's something to look into if you want some additional benefits available to you. I encourage you to do that. Okay. So January, so our cohorts are every 3 months, January, April, July, October. And then our part-time evening cohorts, they all start the same day. They just end at different times. Okay. So let's kind of go into a little bit about what a typical class day looks like. So if you were interested in the full-time day schedule, this is, your time zone. Okay. So Monday through Friday, it's a full schedule. This is like a fire hose. Okay, so this is not an easy program. You are going to get the information you need. You're going to get the hands-on training, but you are going to put in a lot of work and effort into it to get there, because this is an expedited program. Okay, so good training, but it's a lot. So just be aware of that if it's something that you're interested in. Okay, this is live instruction portion. If you're on Pacific Standard Time, starts at 7:30. East Coast starts at 10:30, 2 hours. Self-directed portion, that's where you're doing your labs. And then the coaching session, that's where you're working with coaches to do those job simulations. Okay. And that's again Monday through Friday. If you're interested in the part-time evening, this one's a little bit better. Monday through Thursday, you only have 1 2-hour live instruction session. You have to be in those sessions. And then your self-directed work, you can, the nice part about self-directed is you log in, so you can really do that at any time that works best for you, you know, whatever time that is. Now, for each of these, you see the employer success session here and here. This is where you're working with Sunny. She's also a veteran. She's our career service director. Okay, she's teaching you things like how to negotiate funds, how to get referrals, mock interviews. She's going to teach you how to get a cybersecurity mentor. Everything you need, resume work, assistance, LinkedIn. She's teaching you these every single week. This is also part of your grade because remember I said career services is really, really important. So that's part of your grade. Now, on Fridays, the industry expert session. Okay, we have hiring managers as well as subject matter experts. Most of our SMEs have transitioned out of the military and they are actively working in cybersecurity. Okay. They come in and they talk to the class about, you know, what their transition looks like, because it's scary. I mean, you got the rest of your life to do whatever you want. Most of you probably don't even know what that is, and that's okay. But they're going to talk to you about what they went through. And then our hiring managers that come in, they talk about jobs that they have available. And so a lot of them are looking at our students for employment opportunities because they know how good this program is and they want to hire our students. So they come in and talk about jobs that they have available. They could do interviews and things like that. And then for you who may be interested in the part-time evening, this is all optional for you on Friday, but it is recorded so you can listen to it at any time. And then this right here is specifically helping you pass the exam, the Sec Plus or the CISA Plus exam. Okay. So I'm just going to briefly talk a little bit about this, and then Craig's going to go a little bit more into detail about it. But this is a breakdown of basically what you're going to learn each month. Okay, so journey 1, month 1 is foundations. So you're learning, you know, Active Directory, STIGs, different networking environments. Now, if you're more advanced level or intermediate level, yes, this is going to be a review for you, may even be a little bit boring for you. A review is always good regardless, I think. But you can simultaneously do your labs, and your labs are based off of your experience level. So level 1 through 3, if that's still how we have it set up, Craig. And so your labs are going to be based off of your experience level. So maybe a little bit more difficult if you're at a higher level within IT or cyber. Month 2, move into operations. Okay, now we're doing different corporate scenarios. We're managing operational processes for threats, vulnerabilities, patching, and identity access. Journey 3, you're securing that enterprise now. Okay, you're actually going to build your own secure operations center. This is quite old, but performing some code scanning, doing some test developments, analyzing some threats, things like that. And then as you're going through your labs and you figure out where you want to be within cybersecurity, down here you do your capstone, and this is where you're diving in deep into that specific area of interest. All right, so Craig, if you want to kind of go a little bit more into depth and talk about this more.
Yeah, how much time do we have left? Just so I'm aware in this session. Kim, how much time do we have?
Hopefully not a minute.
That's what I'm wondering. So
yeah, Tyler, are we supposed to be done at 12:30?
Kim, I'm here. I'm sorry. Tyler had to scoot, but no, you guys are fine. You guys have roughly like 35 minutes max.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So we got about 6 minutes
left or
36 minutes total, right?
25 minutes left. Did I say 35? I meant 25.
Oh, so we can go. Okay, that's outstanding.
Okay, good.
Appreciate that. So we can go into a little more detail, which is great.
I was thinking we only had 30 minutes, so that's great.
No, you got 25 left. So you got until about 2:55 Eastern.
Okay, great.
Cool.
So that made Craig happy because now he can go into detail about his
Talk a
favorite
little more,
part
and
of this.
you guys can ask me questions as I go. So I love to answer questions or just talk about it. But I do like to give a flavor of how the program's designed. It's a little bit different than most other programs. And so we can go into that a little bit. The program is designed kind of in 4 tracks, and it's set up kind of as Kim mentioned, to both handle those who have no background in cybersecurity, but at the same time be more challenging for those who have a background, or maybe in your military experience, you did a very specific part of networking or a very specific part of threat intelligence. And so we can work with that. The goal here is to broaden out your skills so that you kind of have that broad base of a cybersecurity professional and then build on what you already have from the military. And I will say every single person who comes into this program comes in with a number of years of experience, whether it be in compliance, whether it be in, working with complex systems, or, almost always, risk assessment. How do you prioritize, items that you got to work on? How do you prioritize threats, things like that. And these are crucial skills, and they really do take, months to years to build up. And so when you're coming in with that already, we're going to take that and build on top of it. And that's the experience you bring to the employer, is really the cybersecurity on top of your past skills, right? In kind of task mastery. So we set this up with a foundation section. If you have no background in cybersecurity, there is stage 0. This is kind of to bring everyone up to speed on the systems, the tools you'll be using, make sure that everyone's kind of baselined at the same level. And we also have Jumpstart, which I think Kim talked a little bit about, which is more a little bit vocabulary, basic concepts, but we kind of want everyone to do Jumpstart, especially those without, a background in cyber. So you have that vocabulary built up, you have the basic concepts, and you're coming in, to stage 0 with that as well. After stage 0, we go through the basic building blocks. So we're going to get you on Linux systems, Linux tools, Linux scripting a bit. Then we're going to get you onto Windows and some of those operating systems and get you familiar with those, how you set them up, how you configure them, what are common vulnerabilities. And after that, we're going to go into the fundamentals of networking, which is, how do all the devices connect and where are vulnerabilities in the connection of devices with each other. And of course, devices are out there in the wild now, right? So we've got so many different, Internet of Things. Used to be most everything was within your corporate firewall, but now you have your automobiles out there, you have, space systems, you have, everything from a predator to financial systems that are on apps, on phones out there. So it's really about how do you network all those together and what are the vulnerabilities in doing that. So once you get through foundations, then the goal here, within the program is one, to make sure that operationally how to do the tasks. So this is not a cert program, although you'll get the required certs through it. We are not a course cert program. We're not just trying to get you cert to put on the resume. What we're really working to do is have you master the basic tasks that you have to do on a daily basis in the different job roles in cybersecurity, and get you the muscle memory, some of the repetition in doing that. And of course, when you get to the interview, the real connection is made in terms of kind of walking through what you've done, in on-the-job type setting. We want you to be very fluent in that, very comfortable with it, and be able to talk about projects that you've done that are very similar to the projects that they want you to do when you get on the job. So obviously, if you're interviewing someone and you performed in those tasks and you're talking through, essentially what you've done, it's very clear to them, that you can do those, you've done them, you're familiar with best practices, and you can walk right into that job. All right. So operations is the first step in getting you to that point. Here we're going to focus just on a few things. We're going to focus on threat management, which I'm sure everyone here has had some time to, to work with. How do you actually look at the threats targeting the organization, or not only the organization, but the products that organization is operating? Again, it could be a car, could be a plane, could be a missile system, could be a satellite system, could be a financial application. And so we're going to go through threat management first and how you prioritize threats, understand that when you secure your systems. And then we're going to get into vulnerability analysis. So looking at vulnerabilities, which is the core way that people get into systems, how you measure those vulnerabilities, both externally from other third products, and then internally with your own vulnerability assessments. How do you patch those? What's the cadence of patching? things that you do on a regular basis on the job. And then we're going to get into identity and access management, how you provide access to people, how you take it away when they leave or they're disgruntled, right? Or how you verify if someone's got access to your systems, by compromising it. After that, we're getting into, the more dynamic part, which is about monitoring systems. How do you look, whether or not there's an incident? Is an incident compromise? How do you run a SOC, security operations center? So the basics of that. And you are going to build your own network in this class because we are very hands-on. We're very task-based. And I'll say most cybersecurity professionals have not done this. So they're on the job not having done this, but you're actually going to build your own network system. And then you're going to, look to protect it and monitor it by building your own basic SOC system. And so that kind of hands-on, actually building and operating it, managing it yourself, will give you some real insights into all aspects of cybersecurity. Then we're going to go into what happens with an event, how you respond to it. We have a top forensics program, so you'll get into the forensics, actually investigating it. So if you like investigating what's going on, trying to get underneath it, you're going to start to get some exposure to that. And then how do you respond and recover once the incident happens? So that's operations. That covers kind of the primary, life cycle of tasks that go in basic cybersecurity roles. So you'll be exposed to all of them. Hope here in operations is if you haven't done cybersecurity before, maybe you did an arrow part again, you're going to get exposed to all of it. And then you can kind of see what your passion is. And we love to go off passion. So if you do something, you like the investigation, you like the response, you like the vulnerability detection, or you like the audit part, that's going to show up here, and then you kind of decide which role you're starting to align with. After that, we're going to go into secure enterprise systems. So this is how do you secure applications since they're the primary target of threat actors. So if you're on a drone, you're going after the application that's actually running the drone. Go after a financial system, you're going after typically the applications and coming through there. And so we're going to secure applications and understand how to do that both in the wild and within corporate systems. After that, we're going to go through risk management. How do you prioritize, take that threat into account again? Now, how do we actually prioritize what we're going to fix on the system and mitigate? And then we're going to go from there into, okay, now your system's up and running. It's in production. How do I actually work with a production system, right? How do I work with a power grid that's up and running and I can't take it down? Or a financial system, I can't even take it down for an hour to do something. So how do we back it up? How do we hot swap? How do we actually do patches on systems like that? So, and finally, we're going to wrap up on that system, kind of looking at threat hunting. So now you're going to go up against really, we'll select, one of the top 3 threats out there, and you're going to hunt it down, figure out, is this a compromise from it? Who compromised? What malware is being used, do some forensics on it, and then put together a mitigation plan with teams, in your corporate environment. And then present this actually to what's essentially simulates a corporate panel that has to make a decision on this. All right, so that's kind of the full end-to-end in terms of the operations part. We are going to make sure that you get Sec Plus because you need that for the job. If you don't have Sec Plus, you're not getting a job in cybersecurity. So we want to make sure you have that. And that's our first and main focus with you. If you have Sec Plus, then we're going to look at getting you CISA Plus and training on that. We have top accelerated courses in both of those, and so we're able to help you in attaining those. If you have both of those, then we have various opportunities to get you other certs that would align with a role that you want to go into. And so we can look at that as well. All right. Finally, we want you to go a little bit deeper. So now you've kind of figured out your passion during the operations element, right? Figure out what you like. And we cover a deeper program in each of these areas that can last from a week to 2 weeks, depending upon how deep you want to go. And so we're going to, ask you to look at, going into one of these roles like incident response, cloud security, which is a big one with the movement to the cloud, both in classified and unclassified environments. There is a huge just shortage of cloud security individuals out there. If you like a little bit of coding, we can take you down the DevSecOps pathway. And also, pen testing is always popular. And then we also do information security, which is like your ISO, ISM, ISI role. If you've worked on classified systems, and on the corporate side, this is kind of the plain information security data privacy role. And so this opens you up into both of those options. We also have deep role specific training on network security. So if you want to go straight network security, and we also have some elements of IT if you want to just go the IT route. So lots of opportunities here, and we have a number of additional roles that you can look at in addition to these. Finally, we're going to ask you to go through a capstone, which is really fun. You're going to take everything that you've learned throughout these 4 tracks, bring it together individually and in teams, and basically work as though you're within a company for that week. And you're going to go through a number of things, such as doing individual tasks and then looking at securing an entire company at the enterprise level with your team, and then making recommendations based on an attack and based on decisions that the company may have to make, on how to best mitigate, or how to best go forward with a plan to better secure the company. And we have a number of different capstones based on, which role you're interested in and which industry you're interested in. And so we have a lot of flexibility here to focus on what you want to focus on. So that's kind of in a nutshell. Again, just, the main goal here is not just to get you checkbox certs. It's really to give you a good feel of what it's like on the job. If you're a baseball fan, maybe you can think of it like field camp. The minors, getting you ready to go into the majors. And if you're a football fan, this is your OTAs and kind of going through your practice sessions, before the big game starts. But we're really trying to get you into the game, get you doing tasks, get you that muscle memory, work on your mechanics, all of that, and concepts, so that when you go on the job, you're ready to go and you have best practices in mind. So I know there's a lot there. Maybe just see if there are any main questions that folks have, whether you're coming from no background at all and you have some concerns, trying to figure out what's going on, or, just if you have experience already, but you're wondering, does this work with the deep experience I have? So any questions out there?
Hey, Craig, it's Derek Welch. Hey,
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to touch on this because I'm actually in this situation directly where it says secure enterprise systems. I've got my associate's degree in cybersecurity and networking from DeVry University, and I'm working towards my bachelor's degree. I have my Security Plus that I got through Navy Cool. Is the CYSA Plus, is that mandatory? Are we talking about like that has to be done, or can I just go into InfoSec? Because that's cloud security and info security is like what I would want to do if I was going to do anything in the cybersecurity world.
Yeah, so CYSA Plus isn't required to do that typically. Typically, Sec Plus is the one requirement, to move into any of those areas. And then what we do in that case is work with you on the area you want to go into. So if you want to go into cloud security, it may be, that some of the Azure, some of the the Amazon certifications might work better for you there. And we work to find the right one based on, what element of that role you'd want to go into.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Is always good, by the way. So, I wouldn't recommend passing it up, but we'd look at the right. Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as all that goes, like I've had a couple of people ask me about it. For the CEUs and all that stuff, where does that line cross? Like what is going to be covered under the CEUs? Like what secure?
Yeah, so which certificates are going to be covered underneath CEUs? Yeah, so we'll cover one certificate underneath that. And again, if you have Sec Plus, we'll cover the next one in the role you're going after. But again, our goal is to not have you spend a lot of bandwidth on credentials that you don't need to get the job. We're really there to get you into that, entry level role. And we feel it's much better, if you have Sec Plus, to basically get you one more, but not to do anymore, because really at that point now it's the ability to do the tasks and really pass that interview that gets you into the job. Right.
Sweet, thank you. Anyone else got any questions for him? We got Tragic.
Hey.
Oh my God, I changed this on my phone, but when I switched over my computer, I didn't update it. It's Chris again.
Chris, come on,
so my question is, you guys also assist with the career placement as well with companies? Okay.
Yes. And we have a section after this, which we'll go into next, which covers that. Kim will walk through. Yeah, to us, that's a critical element. And we want to make sure that you're not only are you able to, you know, do the interview. And so we use already, we're on the forefront of kind of using AI tools as well to help you prepare for those interviews. Once you get to a certain score on the AI tools, then we work with you on individual interviews. And then we have an employer network that Kim will talk about that knows our training. I know that people that come out of it are operational. So that includes people, you know, companies like, you know, AWS and others who have hired quite a few of our folks. And so we help you within our employer network to make connections. And Kim, maybe we'll see if there are any other questions on the curriculum, and then I'll hand it back to you.
Yep.
Any other questions, on curriculum before we let Kim cover career placement? Looks like
No, I don't think so. Go ahead, Kim. Do your thing.
Kim, it's all yours.
All right. So, talking about the employer success section, Sunny's amazing. She's a veteran and a military spouse also. She, actually, let me just go back before I talk a little bit more. Well, there's Sunny right there. She formerly worked for Hiring Our Heroes. She was a peer navigator at Mount Carmel Veterans Service Center. She's worked for Lockheed Martin as a project manager. Pretty amazing young lady. Definitely great with career services, but she covers a lot of different things with our learners to make sure that they are getting those jobs. In fact, I just had a conversation about her today and she's doing exceptionally well. So she will typically work with you every single week as well as one-on-one sessions. So she works with the class each week, teaches you different things like, you know, how to get a mentor. You can see on here, she does a LinkedIn workshop, tailoring your resume, but she also does one-on-one sessions with our learners. And so let's say, you know, you are interested in working for a specific organization. She is going to work with you one-on-one to help you write that resume around the job. Now, some of you may have heard, throw out as many resumes as possible. Something's bound to catch. Please, for the love of God, do not do that. I say that because getting referrals, knowing people, getting out in the community and networking is crucial to getting employed. I would say probably about 70 to 80% of people who get jobs got them through referrals. Okay. We're going to teach you how to start networking in the community. Now, for those of you who are introverts, this is specifically crucial to you as well. Get out there. If there is a ISSA, for example, the Information System Security Association, they're all over the place. They often have networking events. So just sit at the table and people will start coming to you. Okay. That is the first step to getting you comfortable with networking. But even if you are looking at moving to a specific state and you're in one state and you're moving to another state, network anyway, because a lot of times you're going to meet somebody and start talking to somebody about their move, about your move, and then they're going to say, you know what, I know a hiring manager in that area. Let me connect you to that person. Okay, that just puts you way closer to getting that job than anything else. And in fact, networking is how I got this job. So we mobilized to South Korea for 2 years. And when I came back, I was looking for employment, ran into a competitor, if you will. And she said, hey, you know, I remember the way that you used to work. I would really love for you to be on my team. Come work for my company. And that's how I got this job. And so best job I've ever had, by the way. Absolutely love this company. But networking is crucial. Okay. And then when it comes to writing your resume to the job, you really need to. Your first paragraph should qualify you for the job. Because, I mean, if you haven't heard this before, and I know I'm going a little bit off course, but I think this is really important. If the job says you must have these requirements, then have them right away. You know, qualify for that job. When that recruiter looks at your resume, you already qualify. because they're only going to look at your resume for a couple of seconds before they pass it on, and they're looking for those qualifying factors. If you don't have them on your resume or they can't find them, then they're going to put your resume into the no-go pile. They're going to move on to somebody else. Also, applicant tracking systems. When you submit your resume into an applicant tracking system or a job site online, okay, the recruiter's putting in specific words that computer is looking for in your resume. If your resume doesn't have those specific words, they're never going to find you, even if you qualify tenfold for that job. If you don't have those keywords on there, they may never find you. Okay, so understand that. So I just want that to be clear and understandable for you so that you have more success as you start looking for employment. Now, Sunny's going to teach you all those things, getting referrals, you know, going on different job boards, doing mock interviews. Most of you are probably pretty terrible at talking about yourself. Most of our military people don't have to really, right? So now all of a sudden, you know, you're great at talking about your team, but how did you contribute to that teamwork, right? That's what's important. And that's what hiring managers are looking for. What did you do? Not what did your team do? What did you do as a team, but what did you do as part of that team? So as you start, you know, looking for employment, you need to think about that as you move into it. But all of that stuff, Sunny's going to help you with. She's going to make sure that you're taken care of. Any questions in that regard? Because I mean, there's a whole lot that we can unfold there. So if you do have some specific questions, I'm happy to answer them.
No, I don't. I think everyone's got a lot of information. You said a fire hose of information. So they're a little, you know, deer in the headlights right now, but that's okay. We did have a question from Travis, totally off subject, Kim, that says, "Were you at Camp Humphreys?"
I was. Yep.
There you go. There you go, Travis. You must know you then.
2018 through 2020. I was thankful I was there during COVID because I did not want to be in America. That was bad. That was bad news. But luckily we were in a pretty cool country during that time, and they were rebuilding and things like that. So, yep.
I'm currently there right now. My spouse is the new mobile RPS here.
Nice. Yeah,
And
I did a lot
so
of volunteering with the American Red Cross there.
yeah, I saw that on your LinkedIn profile. Small world.
It is. Awesome. So, I'm gonna move on to this. If you are interested in doing just the Jumpstart or even doing our program, these are the steps you would follow to get started. And if you want to just do Jumpstart, you will get an automated message from me to set up a call. You don't have to if you're just looking at that Jumpstart. But if you are interested in, you know, finding out what your goals are, we could talk about your goals. If you're interested in the program, set up a meeting with me. Any questions that you have, I'm happy to help any way that I can. Even if it doesn't have anything to do with Rapid Ascent, my goal is to help you transition. If you're just looking for somebody to mentor you a little bit, I do mentoring sessions. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll go ahead and put my LinkedIn link in here. Please, all of you, connect with me on LinkedIn because even if you aren't interested in the program, I have a ton of connections that could open up some opportunities for you. So connect with me regardless. And that'll open up my network to you. So I have a lot of hiring managers, IT cyber. Oh, I did also want to mention that for those of you who are project managers, okay, I know here in the Springs, there's a ton of project managers, kind of a flooded market. It would be a good idea to be a project manager in a specific industry because that just puts you higher up on the totem pole, if you will. For example, IT project managers, I've seen some IT project managers on here. If you couple your PMP certification with your Security Plus, that makes you very marketable. So consider that. Now, if you are only looking for a certification, okay, Onward to Opportunity through Syracuse University is a great place to look. They do HR certifications, project management certifications, and cybersecurity certifications. Each of you get one free certification through O2O. I don't know if you guys have talked about that previously, but that's a good one. And then another organization to look at is Act Now Education, ACT, Act Now Education. I'll put it on here. I think it's just actnoweducation.com. But Jay Salters, he's not a veteran, he's still active duty, but he runs that nonprofit program. They have fantastic resources. Sometimes they give away certification vouchers also, but they have a really, really great platform for employment assistance and things like that. So check out that. Typically, you'll have to do a Saturday orientation that's virtual, but that's a really good program to look at as well, just because of the amount of resources that they have available. So any questions for me?
Yeah, I mean, every time you guys come on here, you kill, you and Craig. It's awesome. I mean, it's so much information that people are just like, geez, you know. So, I mean, awesome stuff. We're so excited to be, be here and listening to all this. And thank you so much for taking time out of your guys' busy schedule. If you guys don't mind, I was going to go ahead and let them get a couple-minute break before the next speaker. But hey, you guys, reach out to Kim, reach out to Craig, reach out to Rapid Ascent. Go to the website. Go if you're interested in cybersecurity. This is the best way to go. Let me see how many ones in the chat for people that are interested in IT cybersecurity or any of these certifications. Let's see it. Yeah, make sure you guys put those on the end of the days too later, all right? You see all these people, they are interested in this. This is a huge opportunity for all of us, and we really do appreciate your time coming out here and showing us what you guys got. And thank you so much.
Absolutely. It looks like my link isn't working, so I'm trying to pull it up for you guys here. 1 second.
I got you, Kim.
Did I?
Yeah, it worked for
Okay.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped the updated.
Dropped it in for me.
Updated
Thank
one.
you so
Yeah,
much.
I
I
got you.
appreciate that. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Deandra, you just had a question real quick?
Yes, what question? What was the college that she mentioned?
City University of Seattle.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much for having us. We truly appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be on in about 2 weeks, just talking about cybersecurity in general, just to see if it's something that's right for you. So we'll get into that a little bit more in about 2 weeks.
Perfect.